I have worked as a lawyer for 40 years. 40 years. He was not born. He has property other places that I can't afford.
Sagana for Becca and Zembri man, Homanas or Brand Vetting Committee, Natanas or to understand. Okudzeto Ablakwa could pay on a Ghana man penny bone dinsa or my yourself for best. I'm an onensamoso. Nabro could do hono, a year de jar. They sent today, they can't grumble the young veteran and we and our point, and which not their cheers or sounds of 2,000 when we. Any people for no sorry, minority for no ya on ban denny after your marking sorry ya. One no can win an answer peja umu. Ede bibia kone nemo nina muno or veteno. Na bra after your marking Tenancy now veti Okudzeto Ablakwa said Minister for Foreign Affairs. Bra wa sha say na otutu nsema no. Wonum say edi ho nansem bi frase. Emma afanyom akin kura kotena mrahwe dwom ka se Okudzeto Ablakwa gentle guy hwe ne mpaboa na tade o shouting say yes we gentle guy toda kro no kura bi eben no ebisa ne nsem bi emma ono nso so cheche no mu se de be ono nso betumi enya santade ne mpaboa ne bi ato na ontin nsem bi ase entibra wonya no vetting committee na je se atadwufo o wate de pa enti afanyom frase bisa ne nsem se Ejapadia ewo airport hills no. Ohan anase wayan den. No so ohan. We need Ejapadia bia. In this will because he is the owner of that building and answer that house. It is never true because or rent it into a tenant. And now after you be son say so ohan no. Dallas kwan ben and of us says because or mu MPs. Omunum kwan of asunyo musika eno no so kra no wate no opposition ache ema Ablakwa no kra ka se dan no han no be yemfi wotwe eno na ema afanyo so kra na dwens no na obi a han dan be yemfi wotwe na so kra ye MP na usika ye sen wo opposition so kwan be na afa so enye sika han dan because adan no ne board na fam o da yenhwe video ne kakramra.
Number 1, Oshe Boulevard, Airport Hills. This property at Airport Hills, how long have you been living at Airport Hills?
About 8 years.
Is it your own property?
No, I am renting. I'm a tenant.
Airport Hills is dollar rented zone. Are you aware?
Honorable member, can we have a clarification of dollar rented? Because in Ghana we use CD, so I don't understand a dollar rented property. Does it mean you pay the rent in dollars?
Not necessarily.
I mean,
okay. Okay, honorable member. So your rent, do you pay it monthly or you pay it annually?
Well, it depends. And Chair, I don't know if you want me to share the tenancy agreement with you, even though I will have to
don't proceed.
Seek the permission of my dear wife because we do it together.
Don't proceed. It is not in the interest of the company to be demanding for your tenancy agreement, let alone determining how much you pay as rent.
Okay. Well, I mean
that is
I like to be transparent, so
but that is personal.
But I respect your ruling, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman, you see, we are in this public enterprise together. This is a nominee who, desirous of protecting the public purse, holding people accountable, is able to inquire into how people earn their salaries, especially public officers, how people acquire properties and all. I think that it is only fair. For instance, in this inquisition, at least he came as prepared as possible with my own land that I have owned for over 25 years, which is good.
And that's not only what I have, by the way.
No.
Na sa video we nyina nkamfu ano. So obeyi ano so wonyi ano. Isan se Ablakwa ma afanyo hu se sa dan na ohan na enye ono nko a na yan wane na yire na kabom nti ontumi nyina ho. Ontumi nyina nkra no muntutu nkra na fisa mpanin se baanu so a emia na baanu nso so yenam baanu so mfidi a yenam baanu na ehwe. One na yire na ebobra. Nti so ono betena vetting committee na no beyi betene meyi nsem bia no de ontumi. One na yire be ka onti asai ho. Enti nra na Okudzeto Ablakwa kwatena TV3. Na kwatena TV3 no ensam etwagu ye eso wonne nso ka kire. Ehọ na okoyiyi afanyo mark nsem no nyina no. Na before the na aboa no ho. Na aboa no ho. If it's odi control krata koma the owner of the house he has been renting from Emresantin Besine. Emma wants so man krata said the way on so power between the commercial and their coach vetting committee, let's say, and someone now Bambara should be your course so they find 9 or hand or high no.
Do I own a property at Airport Hills? Am I renting? What's the tenancy agreement? What are the rules? You've also heard them say that, oh, even Airport Hills, you cannot rent. You've heard them say that.
Yes,
blatant lies.
Because of how much you said to be earning. And that 15,000, which you say is not the case, you are any more than that. But on the report you just read, it's saying that the rent is catered for by yourself and your wife.
Yes.
Okay.
We signed the tenancy agreement. So if you don't mind, can I read the letter I wrote to Finale?
I think we have a copy of that letter.
Yes, very quickly.
Let's put that on the screen.
And then I can confirm to you that Finale has responded, and we have forwarded same to the appointments committee, and I have asked that it should be made public. Okay. I have nothing to hide in this one. So this is the letter.
Committee to make this information public.
Yes. So on the 3rd of February 2025, I wrote this letter to Finale Limited, and I said, "Dear Sir or Madam, request for confirmation of my residential status at plot number 565, number 1 Wilshire Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. On Friday, January 31, 2025, I responded to an invitation from the Appointments Committee of Parliament to be vetted as Minister for Foreign Affairs following my nomination by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. During the vetting proceedings, questions arose about my residential address, the nature of my occupancy, and the ownership of that address. I am by this letter granting consent to Finale Limited, the managers of Airport Hills, to provide information to the Appointments Committee stating my residential status. In the spirit of full disclosure, kindly be at liberty to also indicate the owner of the property in issue with the hope that the owner shall also consent. The size of the land, because you heard Nutiwu say in Parliament that it's a 4-plot, it's a very palatial structure, and all of that. So I said, we want all that out. The size of the land, they should put all out. Then I also asked for their policy on rental. Then I conclude the last paragraph. Even though the record of proceedings will confirm that the Honorable Chairman of the Appointments Committee disallowed further inquiries on my tenancy, I have decided to pursue this path in accordance with my personal principles of transparency, accountability, and in the larger public interest, particularly considering that I have absolutely nothing to hide in this matter. Counting on your cooperation, sincerely signed Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Okay. So that's the copy of the letter.
3rd February 2025.
About. This one.
Despite the chairman's ruling, yes, this is the letter. Unfortunately, yesterday, I received the response from Finale.
Okay. This is the
estate managers of Airport Hills. And this is what they have sent to the Appointments Committee, despite the chairman ruling that it will not be necessary. I just want to, because of the mischief out there.
Is that what is on the screen?
Yes, that is.
So they've written to Bernard Ahiafo?
They've written to Bernard Ahiafo, the chairman of the Appointments Committee. Attention, Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, February 6, 2025. Request for confirmation of my residential status at plot 565, number 1 Wisher Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. The letter reads, letter dated February 3, 2025 on the above subject matter, directing us to send our response to the chairman of the appointments committee refers. With the consent of the homeowner and the tenants in the above subject matter property, we conducted a thorough search of our files. Our records show 1. A land title certificate issued on December 15, 2017 and registered as GA 53985, Volume 2, Folio 1440 for a parcel of land measuring 0.29 acre, one plot. One plot from Finale Limited to Husni Al-Tibe. Husni Al-Tibe. Our landlord is a Jordanian.
I see.
Husni Al-Tibe. He's not my relative. I don't have any Jordanian links. The letter continues. A tenancy agreement dated March 1, 2017 between Hosni Al-Tibe and Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and Noella Seduda as my wife, for which we granted our consent on August 8, 2017. A renewal agreement dated March 1, 2022. The tenancy is still subsisting and the requisite consent has been granted therein. Kindly find attached copies of the documents for your reference. 1. Land title certificate dated December 15, 2017. Consent certificate 2022 renewal, tenants undertaking signed in 2017 and 2022 respectively, lessee's acknowledgement 2017 and 2022. Airport Hills is an owner-occupied community with a very limited number of rentals, subject to the consent of Finale Limited. Thank you, yours sincerely. This is signed by Benis Among, Director of Administration. So, the propaganda that I own it, they have been exposed. The propaganda that it belongs to my sister, they have been exposed. Here, the owner, the property belongs to Hosni, a Jordanian. The records also show that it's just a small one plot. The records also show that Airport Hills allows for rental. So it is not true when they say that, oh, so you see, they are so sloppy, and I know it's deliberate. They just, and if you listen to them, it's all because of Oral. That Mr. Oral, he's going around, he's saying, why are we buying land for 42,000 cities? Why are we trying to buy hotels, net hotels? Why are we doing National Cathedral for $58 million? So he should come to Equity with clean hands. So we have to smear him, even if there is nothing to smear. There is nothing that I've done. Look, Alfred. Let me state that I have served this country in many capacities. I've been Deputy Minister for Information. I've been Deputy Minister for Education. I've been MP all these years. At no time has any adverse finding been made against me. There is no Auditor General's report where you find my name that have diverted funds or taken anybody's money. At no point in time. I have attended upon my duties with utmost integrity, making sure that I do not disappoint the people of our country, particularly the youth, who have so much expectation.
Yes.
So if my crime is that I accepted this oral appointment, and you heard them in Parliament, oh, Mr. Oral, and he's harassing us. He doesn't want us to buy state assets for cheap, and he's preventing corruption, preventing bleeding. So we have to go with him. We have to deal with him. He who thinks he stands should. You heard some of the scriptures they were reading. Should take heed lest he fall. Should this be about? And when you listen to them carefully, it's as though you see politics in Ghana now is become looting, robbery. Come and join us. Why are you trying to portray yourself as a saint? I haven't said I'm a saint, or I don't seek sainthood. I just believe that we should have conviction in our politics, that this is a country where so many people are suffering.
Intimen kan krata na kakrancho. Dio edike ono Okudzeto Ablakwa no. Etro de koma wona dan na watimi eye won dia no. Ohe letter head now. Or say, request for confirmation of my residential status at plot number 565, number 1, Wisher Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. On Friday, January 31st, 2025, I responded to an invitation from the Appointment Committee of Parliament to be vetted as Minister for Foreign Affairs following my nomination by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Second paragraph. Third paragraph. Third, and I say, I am by this letter granting consent to Finelli Limited. The management of airport house to provide information to the appointment committee stating my residential status. Enti oho na otro krata de koma enkrofo ise wono man krata ye no betime di adansa na adasa nyina adwuma ye fine bi ehu se ampa ono Okudzeto Ablakwa onye ona ne mom oye tenant. Enti ye hwe krata obo nso de bae. Eho na omo nso tro bae. Letterhead. Request for confirmation for my rental status at plot number 565, number 1, Wished Boulevard, Airport Hills, Accra. Making kind. Letter dated February 3rd, 2025, on the above subject matter, directing us to send our response to the committee, to the chairman of the appointment committee refers. Into kenkanya and sanu twa ni tie twa nyina na se Okudzeto Ablakwa fie no enya ne dia ne mom oye tenant ohan asanu tintin tie nyina no enti nura Okudzeto bra akwatena TV shows o TV3 oyi nsanu nyina no se onye obi a owajapade ho onye fie wura ne mom oye tenant na no krampo no one ne yere ene kabom rent efie no ye no nso ho asem no.
We just need to put on record that there were 9 documents that he promised to furnish us on his own volition. Mr. Speaker, this we have not received. Mr. Speaker, the only 2 they brought, they are still here. The 2 they brought, his company registration, I have it here. Those 2 company registration documents, these are the only 2 that they brought. We believe that he who comes to equity must do equity. Let the record reflect that this side is not pursuing a member of this house. But, Mr. Speaker, the colleague himself publicly says that he is a public-spirited Ghanaian, and he's on record of always pursuing people and finding out their sources of income, especially the political class. Mr. Speaker, our colleague Honorable Ablakwa has been taking people on in the public space. He questions people's birth certificates. He questions people's sources of income. He questions people's passports, people's travel. Mr. Speaker, he questions them. If today he lives at airports and provides it on his CV that he lives at the airport and claims that he is a tenant for 8 years, it only stands to reason that he makes available all documents related to the tenancy. We are not pursuing this person. Ablakwa knows that I, Kwame, here will be the last to stand against his political progress. Never. Yes, but to the extent that you do not spare your colleagues, Mr. Speaker, especially during the vetting, I found it very strange that Mr. Ablakwa apparently took the car loan of 2021 because he's on record, both on social media and traditional media, questioning the car loan that MPs take. And he's used the word, it was unconscionable. When I asked the question, he said that 2013, he took the car loan, he used it to buy a Land Cruiser in
the second Parliament, in his second term, that was 2017, he used that one to buy 2 saloon cars, and then the third one, he used that to buy a combine harvester. Mr. Speaker, you and I know that there is no way the clerk to Parliament, upon receiving a letter that a member wants to use his car loan to buy a combine harvester, clerk will not issue a check to a vendor who is selling a combine harvester to a member of Parliament. It is not true.
Now, was how could you turn some now? Who could you turn some now? Chairman Billy, or not to say, why, in Yuma Bebre, why, Juma won't make, why, Juma, but in the car, when you're not a little Okudzeto Ablakwa dear. Who is a Okudzeto Ablakwa, or in shut that you may be answers, I say, when you see me brave, and don't say that chance.
I have worked as a lawyer for 40 years. 40 years, he was not born. He has property other places that I can't afford. He has never worked in his life, except being a minister.
Well, he's been a member of Parliament.
That's all.
Record, okay, right.
He has not on his own done any work. I've been a member of Parliament. I didn't acquire 12 years.
Okay. Right.
I've not acquired what he has acquired.
All right.
But if he says he's acquired it lawfully, and yet he tells my children who are working on their own, have nothing to do with government, have stolen or have acquired property that they are not entitled to, we live to see. Mark my words.
Yeah, here's a good to be baby is answer me so no. Then no see who they by the way, Oldboga TV is in the best row. So when you want comment, one like and now subscribe. So instead of a video be able to another Roma. Ubenya be yahwe. Na somana na igu so ayesumo. Na shadow so. Kana man peninsa nyame ya man na watch ye yesimu ye. Operation recover all loot. Ono mbeshia. Na baby a waye adwuma na akwa koduru bi anso. Ode ho nsem nyina beto na dim. Enti tawochuku na di akire. Na de besi bi anso ada Roma. Ye manenkam. Oldboga TV sini. Piao.